and welcome to my channel. I'm Lydia with Raindrop Lila, and today I want to share with you guys my personal journal that I made. And I actually put this together fairly quickly because I've been so busy this season, and I actually started creating it in like right after Christmas. And for that week between Christmas and New Year's, this is what I worked on. I wanted to kind of just record some of our Christmas memories, and I can't believe that it got this chunky. Of course, now I do have pieces or pages that aren't completely covered or journaled on, but I am totally okay with that. Sometimes I don't fill out every page, and if I like the design, like the background, I'll just leave it as it is. But I can always come back and journal some more in it. Okay. Now I was going to mention that I did use a couple different printables. I used my printables. I used a variety of my printables. I really wanted to use some of the new ones that I created this season. And I also used some by Ruby and Pearl and some by Shabby Cottage Studio. So I will link those below also. I'll link everything that I used in this journal below if you guys want to take a look. And a lot of the kits also that I use, like this one, they're very neutral, so even though I use this for my Christmas journal and they look great in it because of the green or the gold or the reds, they will also work really well for any journal. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. Look how thick it is. I can't even believe that I actually filled it out so much. Okay, so for my cover, all I did was use a file folder, and I folded it so that I measured my spine, and I think it's a 2-inch spine. Let's see, thought I had a ruler here, but I don't. But it looks like about 2 inches. Okay, and then all I did was I printed this printable, one of my Christmas background pages, and I cut it in half, and then I just glued it on here so that it gives a little bit of design. And then I have this little card that I kind of decorated with scraps, some doily, and I included one of my favorite pictures from this season, from Christmas. That's when we went to a Christmas concert at our church, and I brought my camera with me because my kids were all dressed up and I wanted to take a few pictures because we got there early to make sure we got seats. So I brought my camera. I figured I'd have a little bit of time to take pictures of them, and I'm so glad because they look so cute. Okay, so that's like my favorite picture this season. So I wanted to just add it to my cover. I also used some decoupage glue to kind of seal it, okay, and kind of add a protective layer because I printed this on just on my inkjet printer, and I did that with this also. Okay, so I just added just one coat of matte decoupage glue. You can also just use Elmer's glue. Elmer's glue works really good, just like the decoupage. So that's what I did for that. And let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here I used a tag to make a little pocket, and I used a printable, just a little scrap right there, and I used my Amity Bloom tape. I bought a bunch of tape from Amity Bloom, and I just used some of it in my journal, and I love it. It's just like the perfect little detail. Okay, here in my front, in the pocket, I always love to use these prompts, these journaling prompts. One set of prompt is for Let's see. This one's for making a journal and like what to include in your journal. Okay, and then this one is for like what you would write in your journal, right? So I have them both because they really help me when I create a journal. And I actually have these as a freebie on my my Ko-fi account. Okay, this is one of my latest printables, and I just love this page. I just wrote our Christmas season 2024. I love that you can just journal in here. It's simple but really pretty with the Christmas garland, and I think that's so cute. I just had to use it as my cover page. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys some of the like the little dangles that I used. I basically just went through my I have these little bins with like buttons and charms, and I picked kind of what I felt was kind of meaningful for my journal. So I used these right here. This was actually a broken crown, like one of those tiaras that little girls will wear in a wedding. My sister, I believe it was my sister, who wore one of these for my other sister's wedding. But this is like maybe 20 years ago. Okay, so I kept the crown, and then this is just a piece of it. Isn't that just pretty? So I just attached it on here. I just tied it on here. And then I just have some beads. I chose the number 4 because there's 4 of us in my family. It's my husband, me, and then my son and my daughter. So I like that. And then I have a rose on here. Just various pieces. Oops, and I have a little ship that just came off. I don't have my little pliers with me, but you know what? I'll just do this later. I'll put this aside and I'll attach it later. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Okay, so here, I just love this background. Isn't that pretty? This green background page. Let me make sure it's focused. Okay, I did a little bit of collaging here. I added this piece of paper, a little bit of doily. I tore out this label, and then I embellished it with this. This is one of my vintage fussy cuts that I came out with this year. And then I have a little tag, and I actually printed this on the back, and I can journal on top, or you can even just leave it blank and just have some space for journaling. But I thought that would be pretty, and then it just tucks in here. And so I can kind of write like about, this is the day of the concert. I can write a little bit about that on there. Okay. Okay, so that's my family. And again, I used that same printable, and I just added our photo here, and I added a little bit of, I just tore out some different papers, like I have the red and the green to kind of frame it, and it kind of helps it stand out more. Okay, and then I got a bigger, this is the same picture, so I have the small one and I have the bigger one. So it's my favorite picture of my kids, and so I wanted to kind of have that as the focus. And again, I use the same printable as the background page, and then I use book print underneath the photo so that it has the contrast between the dark green, and then I have the book print, which is lighter, and then the picture, and that frames the picture and helps it stand out more. And then I added a little bit of green velvet here, and then this really pretty vintage lace. And then there's 2 leaves on here that I attached with the bold pen. So those are just some of the details. It's a fairly simple page, but I think it's really pretty because of like the vintage lace, the velvet. So even if you just use a few embellishments on a page, it could still be very effective and interesting depending on what you use to embellish it with. Okay, so here's the next page. I used one of the verses from a printable on here, and Then I just journaled a little bit about our Christmas, about the concert, I mean. Okay, so here again, I used some different printables on the background, and then I just layered, like I layered this. This is a postcard printable. I layered it with some doily, and then just some more of that green paper that I used on the cover. I just used a scrap on there just to give it a little bit of dimension and contrast between the doily. And then I added a verse there. And then I have a verse right here too. And again, I embellished with some of that vintage lace. Isn't that just beautiful? This is from my friend. I believe it was from my friend Cheryl with Journal Cottage. And then I have some, again, some green velvet right there. And I love this background paper. It's one of my new ones in my my printables for Christmas that I came out with. I think it's called Romantic Christmas, but I'll link them below so you can take a look. But I think that this one also would really work for, you know, any time because of the pretty roses. Okay, so here I have a basically this is basically just my Christmas to-do list, some of the things I wanted to do this season. And this is actually a flip through. I mean, an envelope flip out. So I have some, I just have a photo here of Christmas Day and with what my son got me for Christmas. But I can add some more ephemera in here and maybe add some journaling in there. And so the top of the envelope, I just kind of decorated it with some different bits and pieces. I liked the red stamp that it came with, but I covered up like the dress with this book page and then a printable, and then I decorated it with this little card and then just different pieces. I have a vintage fussy cut. Yeah, I guess it's called vintage fussy cut with like this piece and some different Christmas pieces. Okay, so here I have a verse that I used. I wanted to make sure I used some of the Christmas verses from the Bible in my journal because that means a lot to me. That's why we really celebrate Christmas. So I did want to use some in here. And so I used one from Matthew, a verse from Matthew about Jesus being born. And then I added the star with some vintage lace right there. Okay, and then I have this printable. I love this, and it gives you plenty of space for journaling, which I could fill out later. This is just a book page, and I love the clock, and I love this, I don't know, I think it's called a mandolin. I feel like that's, it feels very, like, vintage, but also Christmassy to me. And then I have, like, the grandfather clock, and then this. I thought this would be really cute. I have a little bow that I attached to a paper clip, and then I just used this pipe cleaner to kind of frame the picture of like Mary and baby Jesus. And then I just journaled right there, Oh Holy Night. And then this is another layout, and this is a printable, and it's already really pretty. I love the way it looks. So I didn't want to add too much to it, but I did add this pretty lace piece. And then just this verse right there. Okay, right here, I glued this piece so that it forms a pocket and I could tuck something in there. And on this side, I just added, I love this paper, but I can journal right here or add a picture. But then I decided to add this, I guess it's an ornament. And it's L for Lydia. I'm Lydia. So I just added that to my journal. I thought that would be cute. And it's just attached with a paper clip. So this could be moved around. Okay, and then I did some collaging here. So I can still add something to this page. But I just love the collaged pieces. And so for now, that's just how it's going to be. And then here, I did some layering. I added like some of the baking paper and then a book page, and then I have my printable right here, the nativity scene. And then here I added, I just journaled some lyrics from a song that I love, especially this Christmas. I've listened to this, and they even sang it at our church, and I just love that song, so I just journaled it on here on a piece of vintage paper, and then I layered it with some doily because it just makes it look so pretty. You'll see that I love to use doilies a lot to embellish my pages. I use them a lot. Okay, got a little piece of ribbon right there, and I just stapled it on there just for some something extra, some like embellished detail. Okay, so here I have a little pocket I made. I think this is by Ruby and Pearl. And then I have this, and this image is from Shabby Cottage Studio. I actually used her Christmas matchbook kit, so I'll have some vintage images from her that I used in this journal. And so I did a little bit of journaling on the back about shopping with my kids because isn't that a cute image? Okay, and then I did collaging on here again. I used some embossed paper, printable. I used, this is just another piece of doily, and then some pieces from my printables. This is a book page, and I like that it says God's Word Memory Learning. And so I wanted to add this in there because it's important to memorize verses, because there are times when you'll remember those verses and they could be helpful in your life. So I like that page, and I wanted to include it in my journal. I love this printable also. I worked on this for Christmas, so I wanted to make sure I include this in my journal again. Again, it'd be really cute to just add a photo in here maybe. I still have to print more photos, so I might come back in and add more, but for now, I feel like it's fairly done. Okay, I love this layout. I think it's so pretty. The background pages are my digitals, my latest digitals. This is one of my printables? I can't remember. Gosh. This is for sure Ruby and Pearls. But I think I have one of these also in one of my kits. Then I have this. I love this image, and I'll link it below. I can't remember the name of this image. I used a little bit of embossed paper just to back up and add some contrast and dimension between the background and the image. And then I just love the background of this paper right here. And then I added this little strip on the bottom. Okay, this is another one of my latest digitals. I love that too. That reminds me of like dinner with family, which is kind of like at the holidays. During the holidays, you end up just spending more time. At least we do. We spend kind of more time with family, like sit down dinners. And so that's why I chose this type of book page or magazine book page. This is actually a pocket, and I just embellished it. I added some washi tape here to kind of reinforce the top of it. And this is Amity Bloom washi tape. And then I just added this piece here. Again, this piece is from Shabby Cottage Studio, and it's her matchbook kit. This is from one of my romantic Christmas layouts, I believe. Okay, so this is more of a neutral page, but isn't that pretty? I love the bells because obviously it's Christmas and we have a lot of bells. I love the lantern. It's like a vintage lantern. And I layered some fabric. I decided to add some lace on there, and I sewed tiny little roses, which are actually the French knots. So, and then on this side, I made this paper clip, and after I made it, excuse me. After I made this paper clip, I decided to do a tutorial. So I have a short reel on how I made these. Okay, so they're basically just an embellished paper clip. And I tuck these pieces on in there, and then I also attach this bell to the paper clip right here. And this right here, so this is the paper clip, and it's on the inside, the paper clip. Anyways, I have a reel on my channel, or a short form video on how I created this. And I'll link it below if you guys want to see. If you guys didn't see the video. Okay. And so this actually lifts up. So if you wanted to do some hidden journaling, you have that there. I just love this image so much. Also, this printable, I actually created it last year, and I used it in my last year's journal for Christmas, but I never released it until this year. This year I came out with one, with a new kit also called the Nativity. Okay, and then here I made a little tuck spot out of this bird. And I love the neutrals. I think it's so pretty. And I just embellished a little bit right here and right here. And then I have these pieces that just get tucked in. Again, I love this tag because I can just journal right there. I can write my own verse if I wanted to. But it has plenty of room for journaling. This is just... we went to a wedding this like fall Christmas season, and my husband took a picture of me, so I decided to do a layout of it, and I just kind of embellished it with a book page, some doily, and then on this side I did some collaging, and I used this label, and it says the moments that define us, and then I collaged this tag. And I'm thinking to do some journaling on the back. Kind of like about this year. I think I might write a little bit about my, like my crafty business, my small business. Maybe that's what I'll do for this page. And then I have room here for journaling. And then I have this. This is also from the wedding. And I took a picture of my daughter, and I did a little layering, and I made this ruffle, and it has, let's see, it has some vintage lace here. It has some silk, and then some tulle, and then some more vintage lace and a button. And that just kind of embellished the page, and it's really pretty page, but it's fairly simple. You just have basically a cluster right here, the background page, and then the picture of my daughter. And then I do have a little bit of doily and a little bit of tulle, dotted Swiss tulle up here is like a little ruffle. And then here I did a little bit of collaging on this page, right? And then I added this. This is a tag with a verse, and then I embellished it with this pretty rose. And then the verse I added on here is from Matthew, and it's about how if your son asks you for bread, it's basically if your son asks you for a gift, you would give him a good gift. And how much more would God give you a good gift if you ask it of him? So I wanted to add it there because, so it kind of talks about his love for us, and he's reflecting on how we love our kids and we would do anything for them, basically. So I felt like that was really meaningful for me, and I added it with, you know, my daughter's image, with my daughter's photo. Okay, so this page, I decided for my journal this year to also include some of the things I created, and some of the things I created for Christmas this year. And one of the things I created was this nativity journal, and I just printed the picture, and then I just kind of embellished it, and I added it here. And I also made this handmade slow stitch cover, and so I wanted to include it here so I can kind of look back and remember it. Okay, so here I did a little bit of collaging on these pages. This is a little tag I made. I hope this is focused. Let's see. So it's a scrappy little tag and it just tucks in here. Okay, so here I have a picture from Christmas Day, and this is actually a little tuck spot, so I could add more things in here. I used a little bit of wrapping paper on this little pocket, and I included this little card that my daughter wrote on my present, and I added the little bow on top. I love these red bows. I've been using them a lot, and so this is part of my Fussy Cut printable. So they're like really easy to work with, because once you have like everything cut out, you can just embellish anything and just add them like to a corner of something, and it looks so cute. Here, my son's birthday is in December, so I have a picture of him and I included it on here, and then there's a tuck spot here, so I can actually add some journaling in there. Okay, here I added this image of this beautiful girl. I think it's so pretty, and I made her kind of like into a pocket or a tuck spot. And if you guys know the Anastasia movie, there's a song called Once Upon a December, and I love that song, so I just wrote that on there because it kind of brings back memories of other Decembers when we were young, like my husband and I. Okay, so these are great just for some journaling, and it also adds some dimension behind her, right? It just adds some more interest. Okay, so this is the second, actually it's the third signature, and I have an image, a photo of my daughter and my son, and I have a little label that says Merry Christmas, and I did a little bit of, I actually embroidered with ribbon on here. I thought that would be really pretty, and then I just glued it on there. Okay, so here I have this page layout that I wanted to use an image, a photo of my family, and I used this frame. This frame is from my Whispers of the Past kit. It has different sentiments that I used, and so what I did was I just cut it out so I could use it as a frame, but that kit also has the sentiment, the moment that defines us, and it's actually part of the collection with this pretty lady or pretty girl in it. So I have like the sentiments, and then I have really beautiful images like that in that printable or in that collection. So there's like 2 or 3 kits with Whispers of the Past. Okay, so and then I have this sweet little deer that I added on here. I actually fussy cut her out, and I used a little bit of batting. Let's see if it will focus. Okay, so I used batting in the corner there to basically as snow, and then I used one of my faux flashcard printables. I have like 3 or 4 different flashcard printable kits with just a ton of different words or titles, and so I have a Christmas one that I used in here in this kit. I actually use this the flashcard printables quite a lot, and I use them as they're mini, but I also make them really tiny to use in my journals, and I kind of used them a lot. Like I used them on my little embellished paper clip, and they're just a really great way to embellish or add something a little extra to your journal layouts. Okay, so here I have a pocket that I made with some of the wrapping paper we used this Christmas, and then this is also from the wrapping paper, and I actually added this label that my daughter used on a present for me on there. So I just kind of used some stuff from Christmas presents on here. Then here I have another layout with just some photos we took this year before we went to church. We took a few photos. That's my husband, my son, and my daughter and I. And all I did here was I collaged. This is basically 4 different strips of just papers. This is actually just a music sheet, and then these are different printables. And then I used a bit of washi tape from Amity Bloom. And then this is just some packaging material. And I just kind of crinkled it up around the picture as a frame. And it gives it really nice dimension. Okay, so here, this is the Christmas, I don't know what it's called. Like the little, oh my gosh. My mind's drawing a blank. But it's like one of those little booklets that they hand out when you come to church. And this is basically the Christmas events for our church this past Christmas season. And so I wanted to add it to my journal page. And then I just embellished it again a little bit with doily. You guys will see I use doilies a lot. And then I added a little bit of fabric, some vintage lace, and the word caroling because we had a lot of carols this Christmas, and it kind of brings back memories. I love Christmas carols, and so it was a nice, there were some nice events at our church this Christmas. Okay, so here I have some photos of my son, and this was actually a music sheet that said Heroes, and I had to add my husband and my son here because it says Heroes. This is funny because this is from Aeropostale, but it looks like Hero because the A is kind of blurred a little bit by his hair or shadows. And so you just see the ERO. I think that's funny. I just noticed it now, actually. So all I did was I matted my photos with a darker color. This was actually a scrapbook page. And then I added these little gold photo corners, and then I added them to my pages. My pages, the backgrounds, are just collaged. I just used book page, doily. This was part of the music page, and then book page, and then just printables, various printables. This right here is some embossed paper. And then this is a printable also. I have the vintage tape, and it just adds a little, just like a nice little touch right there. And so I wanted to include these photos of our family. Okay, so this one is another layout that I just loved. I think it's so pretty with the lady with her dress. And she's reading, and that reminds me of the winter because wintertime just feels like right where you kind of cozy up with a book. It just, that's just how I feel. Like I love to read, and I love to read in the wintertime. And then I used this tag with a verse. I love to use scripture in my journals with verses that mean a lot to me. And then I use one of these labels as like a little tuck spot. Okay, this is another layout, and I love this. It says Christmas Eve, and I was going to leave it plain, but then I decided to embellish it with these bells. And the bells are just like a little tuck spot for my tag, and then just some book page. Okay, this is another layout that I love, that I created this Christmas. Then I have this, like, how cute is this little stocking? I just love it. And I created it large like this so that you can just use it as a large tuck spot. And then I just, this is one of my printables with the music. It's a vintage view finder, I think it's called. Okay, and that just tucks in there. This just reminds me of my childhood because we used those when we were little. These are from Ruby and Pearl. She has a postcard kit that she came out with, and I just have them as journaling spots. And so I was also going to say that this stocking, I loved it so much. I actually took it and I traced it on just some cardstock or some card like card the weight of like a cereal box, and I have one right here that I made. So if you have like a cereal box, this is such a cute little craft with me you could do. I use this right here is actually avocado, like the bag from the avocados, and I cut it out and then I just sewed it onto this little stocking, and then I just filled it up with little pieces. I also glued the little pom-pom trim on there. And then this is again one of my vintage fussy cuts. And what I did was I have them like this next to each other so that you can cut them out and then fold them in half, and then they become like a little card you can journal inside. I just thought that would be really cute. And you could just tuck it in there. Then I have the little candy canes. Now some of these candy canes I just cut straight like this so that I can have one if I wanted to and tuck it in. And then I even glued these two together to make two separate ones. I hope that makes sense. And so that's what I did here. Let me show you guys. Where is it? This one. Okay. So this one was left over from one that I cut apart. And so I glued it together to make just one. Right? And then I just tuck it in there. Let's see. And then I also made this little... Okay, so I used, again, the file folder for the cover. And then you got journaling space right there. Isn't that cute? I just love it. I love this color green, too. It has just such a vintage look. And then this just gets tucked in here. Oh, come on. Okay. I love recording Christmas memories, and I always do it at the end of December after all the busyness of the season. Okay, so here I have, this is a music sheet, and so I folded it over and then I just glued. This was my announcement for my sale, my Christmas sale. And actually I am, depending on when you're watching this video, I've extended my sale on all my Christmas printables because I got a lot of responses where a lot of people said that they really appreciate the sale. And so I wanted to extend it to make sure that you guys can pick some up if you guys were waiting and wanting to pick some extra digitals up. So I extended my sale past Christmas. Plus, some of the days that the sale was going on, Etsy was having some glitch, and so it kept showing that I didn't sell anything, but then I sold out of a lot of kits and they weren't available in my shop. And so that was like something weird going on with the Etsy, on Etsy's end. So then I decided, okay, I'm just gonna extend my sale for a little longer for you guys. And then these are just some of the little cards that I attached to my kits that I shipped out in the Christmas season. So I wanted to kind of include them here because this is part of my creative process. This is stuff that I created, so I wanted to just have them in my journal because they're part of my memories. And then here I included some of I did a collage first, and then I included some of the washi tape from Amity Bloom on this side. And then on this side, I included some photos that I took of some of the Christmas maker boxes that I made and sold this Christmas season. And so I kind of want to remember the things I make. So I'm going to probably start adding like images or photos that I use like on Instagram. I'll probably be adding them in my journals too because I love having the memory like right here. Like I can go through my Instagram account, but it's also nice to just pick up a journal and be like, okay, this is the season that this and this and this happened. And at the same time, this is what I created So that's kind of what I wanted to do here. I actually have one more Christmas box left if anybody's interested. I have one Christmas maker box and one maker kit, I think, unless that's sold. I'm not sure. I'll have to go check. I'll show you guys at the end what I have left. I have like just 1 or 2 items left, so I'll show that at the end in case anybody is working on their Christmas journal like after Christmas, like I am, because that's kind of the time when I can kind of remember and just put all the pieces together that I have, like cards and everything. This is a image of my daughter. I just love it. I think it's so pretty. The focus is the flowers, so she's blurred out a little bit in the background, but I love it. That was done on purpose, obviously, but I took some photos of my daughter at a wedding, and so I loved adding them to this journal. And then I just have a little bit of ribbon there, and then I attached it. I just have it attached with a paper clip. Okay, so here I made a little pocket, and I used one of these cute little deer images. I have this is the same kit that this little deer came from, and then I just cut her out, right? And I labeled a verse on top of there. I did a little cluster with a star and then some tinsel and some ribbon. Okay, and then again, I used one of my my flashcard printables. I actually have them small like this, and so I use the smaller size on here, and I just layered it up. I can't remember whose printables these are, but I will link them below. I have vintage. I want to say they're from Shabby Cottage Studio. I think that's who they're from. I forgot because I printed everything out at the same time and I used them. Okay, and then here I have my background page, and then I used a printable and I just created this little flip out. Isn't that cute? So here I can just journal or add more images or photos. So that's another picture. It's actually my favorite picture of my kids, but it's in black and white, but I don't mind. I like to use it. So, and then I used memories, the flashcard word, and then I tied a little satin bow right there. This is my daughter, and that's the other side. I just used 2 photos of my daughter, and I just layered some book page and some printable, and I kind of wrinkled up the page or the photo up like that, and I inked the edges just to add some dimension and detail. This right here is from Shabby Cottage Studio, and it's her Christmas matchbox kit, I believe, yeah. And I just embellished it with my vintage fussy cuts, and then a little bit of doily and a book page. Okay, this is another image of my daughter that I took and I wanted to include in my journal. I love photography, so if you guys see my personal journals, I will always use a lot of photography and photos of my kids, but also maybe just photos that I take. And because they mean a lot to me and I love it so much, I will always use photos in my journals. I also have a whole section in my Etsy shop with photos. They're photos of roses, of like different images that can kind of convey a feeling or a memory. And so they're kind of perfect for a journal. So anyway, so this is just a photo of my daughter with the roses, and I added this it's like a, I don't know, like a ribbon, but it's like a rope, and I inked it up and I just glued it down. And it's all layered on here. I have like wax paper right here, or freezer paper, and then the doily and a book page. I kind of layered on there. And then this, I like the title this time for the song. So I kind of just left it here just like that. I like the feel of this layout. It's simple, but I love it. Okay, on this side, I have a little pocket here. And these are some of my printable kits that I made. These are my latest kits from like the Christmas season. And then this is again some images of some of the things that I had in my Etsy shop, my journals and my maker kits. And so I printed them out so that I can have them kind of together and I can go back and look at what I created this Christmas. And then here I have this little, it's like a little post, like a mailbox, and I love it. I just glued it on the side so I can tuck these in. Isn't that cute? Okay, and then these are also different kits that I created. And so I just printed these out because I thought, this is, I think, the first time I've done this. Because I think it'll be so fun to look back and see what I create each year. Okay, this is another image of my daughter, and I layered it with these. I love these different printables. They're so pretty. And then I used one of the fussy cuts, the bows. I have a bunch of bows in my vintage fussy cut printable. And so I just added it on top of her on top of her dress. I thought that would be cute. Okay, so here my daughter made a Christmas card for my husband. And so I keep everything, all paper, all memory stuff that my kids make for me and my husband. And I keep all our cards together. And I like to tuck them into my personal journals because that way they're kind of there. It's basically a memory book for our whole family. Okay, so that's what she created and she wrote inside. And so we could just pull this out and read it. And then I have this little stocking. This is another one I made. And this is on white. So I showed you guys that other one. I don't know where it's at now. But anyways, I have this one, which is book page and the craft color on the back. So this is more vintage. And then this one is with the white background. It's just on white cardstock, right? And then I added this white. This is actually like snow. I don't know what it was, what it's called, but it's really soft and it had some like glitter on it. And I cut it up and I kind of spread it out so it looks like snow. And then I glued this little fussy cut deer on here. I think it's so cute. And then at the top, again, I decorated it and I tucked these pieces inside. And then this one just opens up like that. Okay. And then it tucks in right there. And I think it's so cute. This reminds me of my childhood. When we were little, they used to bring these little stockings full of candy at our grocery store. And they were always like right in the front with all the Christmas stuff. Okay, so I'm going to move on. Here I have a little tag that I made. I just used book page. I used one of my fussy cuts to just kind of frame this little label that I have here. And I also used this... This was part of our wrapping paper, our Christmas wrapping paper, and I wanted to use it just to kind of like add a pop of color, but also to kind of remember. I love to use wrapping paper that we wrapped our presents with. Whenever we unwrap everything, I keep a few pieces so I can use in my journals. So that's what I did here. Okay, so here I have this envelope that flips out and I can add some pieces in there of ephemera, or some notes or journaling. Okay, here I forgot to show you guys. I have a little, this little bow that I made out of pipe cleaner. Oh wait, here we go. So I made a little bow out of a pipe cleaner and I think it's so cute. Okay, so here, this is a perfect place for some journaling space, more journaling space. I have this pretty background piece and then I have this, vintage postcard from one of my kits that I just used right there and I can journal on the back. Okay, so here I have another stocking and I already showed you guys that, so I'm going to leave it there. And then this is perfect for just some journaling. And then I also love adding Christmas cards to my journals. This is my sister and her family. I actually have 6 sisters, so there's actually 7 sisters and 2 brothers in my family. Okay, and then on this side I have a picture of my baby sister and her husband, and she just got pregnant and is gonna have a baby in a few months. So I love having like all my sisters or all my family's cards in here that they send me, especially when they use photos. And this is one of my other sisters, and this is from her vacation this year. And she has some great photos. My sister Christina. Okay, so on this side, I have this envelope. Actually, this was a paper bag. I forgot. This is actually a paper bag, and I embossed it, and I decorated it with just a scrap of printable and a book page. This label right here is from Shabby Cottage Studio, and then I have embellished it also with some fussy cuts. Okay, and then, oh, I'm going to show you guys what I have inside. I almost forgot. I have this little card inside, and I use my Whispers of the Past. This is one of the photos. I think it's so pretty. And I added this word, Seasons Change, on there because seasons are changing. Like it's Christmas, and then there's going to be a new season, New Year's. And so I kind of made this little card about, the idea was about the seasons that change, and sometimes there's seasons in our life, not just seasons like winter, spring, fall, but there's different seasons in our life. So that's kind of what I was going for. And then this is a perfect place to add like a verse or a quote. I just did a little bit of collaging on here. This is from Cottage Studio. Isn't that just so pretty? And then I added one of my bows on there. I love using my red bows everywhere. I just used them so much this Christmas. Okay, and then this just tucks in here, and then right there. This is one of my favorite printables this year. I've been using this a lot. Also, this is my brother and his family, and this is actually one of the embellished paper clips that I made. And I will have the link to the reel if you want to see it. And so this is their card. And then this is the envelope. What I did was I just glued the flap. Let's see if I can show you guys. I just glued the flap down right here, right? And then it can flip out and you can journal on one side and you can tuck stuff in behind. And then I have this focal point on top. So I love that. I love using my envelopes from my Christmas cards along with my Christmas cards. So this is my other sister, Becky, and her family. And then this is my cousin and her family, and it just tucks in here. And then I have another tuck spot right here. Then I have another card here. This is from my sister-in-law. And again, I use the envelope right here. And then I just tuck the card into it like this, right? This can flip out for some more journaling space or writing on the back. Okay, so the back of the page, I just tore one of my printables just kind of down. So you have just the corner. This makes a really good pocket. I like to do this. I feel like it gives it a really natural look. I just love to do that. I do have pockets that are just straight and you just cut them out, but I also do this with just any printable. Okay, so here I have this collaged piece, and I just wanted to include this this quote from, this is from Ruby and Pearl, and then I did some collaging on here also. And then I have this card that I made. It's actually a printable, and it comes like this, right? And so I just printed it out and I folded it in half to create a card. And then when it opens up, I just did some collaging on the inside with just book page and then a printable. I just thought that would be pretty. And so these just get tucked in here. And then I tuck this like this so that I have the rose on top like that. Okay, so that is my Christmas, my personal Christmas journal. I actually created it in a rush because I wanted to get like all my memories in and done with, and kind of have them all here. And it's been a busy season for me, so I tried my best to be pretty quick with it, but that's how it is, and it's full of so many memories. I just love it. I hope you guys also are inspired and will create a journal to record your memories. It's never too late. Even if the season's over, you can still create a journal and just add all your memories to it, and all your kind of like your special moments, your photos. It's a great way to look back and just remember your special times together. Okay? I'm going to show you guys a few things that I have left in my Etsy shop. Just kind of show you guys an update. So I will be back in just a minute. Okay, so I wanted to kind of do a really short update of a few pieces that I have in my Etsy shop. I have this sweet little Christmas journal. So if you don't have a journal or you want to create a Christmas journal, I have this in my shop and it's currently on sale. I also have just one maker kit, journal maker kit that is Christmas themed. I have just one left. And I think it's so cute. Look at that little deer. Isn't that just so sweet? So I have one maker kit, one journal, and then I also have a Christmas paper kit I have different embossed pieces. I actually have a video that shows everything that's included in this maker kit number 12. And then I also have this little tin that's full of Christmas goodies and a little mini journal. And then I also have a pink kit because I know that I have a lot of people that love pink. And I just have only 2 of these left. So if you didn't pick one up, I do have these available. They're on sale also. And I also have some vintage Americana style kits in my shop, and they have a bunch of fun little pieces inside to create with. Okay, so that's what I have available in my shop if you wanted to take a look. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.